Hi. So today we're going to talk about the book I just finished yesterday, and it was the biggest book I've read in all my life. I read some big books like The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, or the Cipher by Still Pavlo, I believe. Couple of mangas, but the biggest one so far is going to be this one, Swan Song by Robert mccammon. Sorry. This is a very big book. We're talking about 950 pages, and this book is amazing, just out of the bat. That's why it's listed one of the best books dealing with post-apocalyptic fiction. Usually, it's very advisable to read if you enjoy, for example, The Stand by our dear Stephen King. But overall, I think it's a bit different, okay? And I'm going to deal with it. So, what is this book about? Well, the first 100 and something pages, it's a book that deals with the end of the world. There is a war between America and Russia, and then bombs start falling and people start dying and so on. The first 200, okay, I don't know, 400 pages, I believe, or something like that, deals with this apocalypse that is ongoing. So we are following several characters. They are trying to survive, each one in its own way, and at the same time they are dealing. It's a group of characters. Okay, in the second part of the novel, it's 7 years in the future. Some diseases have happened. We've got a nuclear winter. We've got some big armies still fighting one another, but within the United States, so not abroad. We've got some glimpses how life is hard, how the nuclear winter is destroying the everyday life of the people, and we follow the same group of characters that we followed before. Here, this novel, there are some incredible characters. Right from the back, we've got Swan, of course, the Swan Song. We've got Josh, we've got Sister, we've got the colonel or the general. It depends on when to talk. The king's knight, okay, that you're going to be reading along, and you've got like an evil one, if you want to call it that, and there are a couple of other interesting characters along the way. Some of them will die, some of them will not, and so on. It's very interesting to see that. What did I enjoy about this book? First of all, the ongoing cataclysm, the survival, and how to survive is like a quick guide to survive an apocalypse. He doesn't dwell much more on how did they get the food, for example. People, okay, we are now 7 years in the future. There are, due to the nuclear winter, there is no more trees. There are more fruits and so on. Everything is being dying, and the author doesn't really try to explain how people get their food from. Probably it's from tuna and so on, like that kind of food that can be preserved for years, but it's really never explained at a great length about that. It just happens. That part was interesting, okay, the part where they try to survive. There is an also interesting part about the conversations between themselves, very, very real. You get to know deep down each one of the characters as an individual person, and it's sad to see some of them gone or whatever. Um, there are some situations that about the book as well that really you've got the evil one, the guy that is trying to thwart Swan, and sorry, it's very interesting. Okay, everything there is interesting, the story and so on. By the designs of the covers that I've seen, I thought that there's something more, something supernatural. Okay, there is a supernatural being, and I'm not going to spoil. Well, to be honest, in the back of it says, "Is the man with the scarlet eye a malevolent force that feeds the dark desires?" So, okay, you know that it's not human, um, but it really isn't that explain what it is. Where did he come from? Probably there is some mythological Christianity versus evil kind of situation there, um, but it's never really explained. Then, in terms of, it was interesting to see this slice of life, this kind of slice of life of trying to survive. It's different slice of life that we are used to, but it's a slice of life. They are trying to go from place to place to survive and so on. But there is always something going on, either with Swang, either with the sister group, either with the Army of Excellence group. There's something always going on. We have 19 chapters throughout 900 pages, so every chapter is 10 pages, and each chapter, each chapter you go from place to place. You've got in the south of America, and that feeling of the south. You've got in the north, Pennsylvania, and so on. It's very interesting to see the differences, and there are some differences. Everything connects there. There is some elements that I need, probably with time I'm going to enjoy even more. This was really, I'm not going to say struggle at times. A bit interesting point. I like to read books, okay, and I can read 300 pages novels and all in one go, okay, trilogy, for example. But reading a 900 page in my head, I can't control it, but it's a struggle, okay. And so I read like the first part in a couple of days, then I went back in other days and so on. So it was read in over 2 months, but overall it was very fast read to me. I didn't expect to be able to read this book as fast as I could, because, for example, The Eye of the World, it took me 6 months. But it's very strange because I'm reading now Crucifix by Ray Carton, which is 400 pages or so, and I've read the first 150 in one day. I read other novels pretty fast, so it's whenever the books are with too much pages, I struggle a bit. That's why I stopped making a goal goal related books. Sorry, a book goal related with the amount of books I read. I have now got the page count because it's more real. I can read this book, it's one book but 900 pages. I can read 4 200 pages books and still come short of this one. So I prefer to read like that, and to be honest, that was my interesting to see this reading. That was what I was interested to see. Okay, let me try it now, because I read The Stand. I've enjoyed. I've tried to read The Stand, and I was enjoying, but after 200 pages, I give up twice, and I wasn't enjoying the book. So this is my first try, and some other novels will come next with 900 pages. I've looking at Battlefield Earth, for example, which is a very interesting novel. There are some other novels by this author as well that they are very, very big. Uh, the series he has of historical fiction. There are some other novels, you can see some of them here, that are 900 pages, and I'm regularly now looking forward to read them. And back in the last month or so, sorry, last year, that wasn't the case. I usually skip the big books. Now, well, let's see. Overall, if you want a story, character driven, dealing with post-apocalyptic stuff, slice of life, trying to survive, trying to go around and see the world, see all these new characters that appear and so on, go here. If you want something more action orientated, this is probably not the book for you. There are some scenes of action, mainly back towards the end, but they are not the main focus. The main focus is the characters, and following Swan and Josh and Sister throughout this novel, throughout this they become part of you, you know. It's very, very, very cool. I really enjoy it. I can see why it's highly acclaimed. It's no reason that in Goodreads it has a point. It's a 4.3 rating, 70,000 ratings. So there's something there. Okay, it's not easy to be a single novel and having this amount of rating, a big novel, because some people give up and get it in 1 or 2. I believe that some people didn't enjoy it as much because they read The Stand and it told, okay, now you're at The Stand, now read this one. It's the same thing. It's different. King and Robert McCammon are very similar in some situations, but I believe so far, from what I've read, Robert is more of a guy for me, for people that like to read books like The Stand, that usually books by Stephen King have too many pages. They have probably, and I'm remembering now a couple of novels I've read, and I could have cut 200 pages and nobody would lose anything. That's why The Stand, the first edition had 900 pages and the last one had 1,400. So you know, it's the difference. He cut something out. The book was still a great achievement, and now he included more. And that's the problem for me with Stephen King. He takes 3 pages when it could have been told in 1. But to people who like slice of life, going into the characters and so on, yeah, good. And I have read and I love it. Stephen King, more Richard Bachman than Stephen King, but whatever, it's the same person. If you want that kind of stuff, as I said here, if you want that kind of evil versus good, go here, no problem. If you want, again, a big, interesting novel to lose yourself, here, this is the place to go. In 100 scale, which I have, I will rate it a 97 out of 100, and probably the only complaint I have, again, the length. I said that sometimes there are some chapters that they are not that interesting and not that important, and I think that there is a big the story progresses slowly, and then there is, like in the final 100 pages, all comes together, and that part could have been probably written a bit more, but okay, no problems. And some, in the ending, I didn't understand a couple of things while I read afterwards. Overall, top notch, advisable to anyone. Have a nice day.